Steve Taylor with Think HR Insurance Services. Good benefits cost less when you know how it works. Health insurance is a tool you use to protect yourself from having your health problems turn into financial problems. Look, everyone hates losing money and wants to pick the most cost effective health insurance plans available. But first, you must know two fundamental truths that calculate your cost exposure for healthcare before you start. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly how do you calculate your cost exposure in 2 easy steps, followed by a quick and easy way to find these two numbers. So let's go. First, let's talk about what is cost exposure. So cost exposure is two numbers. It is your annual premium, and the annual premium for insurance, look, this is a guaranteed cost. It's definitely going to walk out the door. So no matter what happens this year, you're going to definitely spend $21,192 if your monthly premium is $1,766. The second fundamental truth is if you got struck by lightning twice and hit by a bus 19 times in network, you're going to be exposed to $18,300 on this plan. This is for a family scenario. Out of network, you're going to be exposed to $36,600, meaning that the total cost exposure is between $21,192 if you don't do anything and $76,092 if everything in the world bad happened to you this year, right? So that's basically what you're looking at. When we look at a health plan and we're looking at co-pays and deductibles and all these different services, really the choice doesn't start with the deductible or the co-pay or any of this stuff. It starts with what is my cost exposure, right? That's what we want to look at. So when we're looking at this and we're making a decision between plan one and plan two, the goal of this video is for me to illustrate to you how do you find your cost exposure. In another video, we'll go over how do you use this information to pick the plans, right? Because before you even begin saying, well, this year I want to have a baby, I want to do all these things, right? You need to know what range between the two options makes the most sense for you so you can decide what do you want to get done this year. So plan one is $1,766. Plan two is $1,723. There's a $43 cost difference, right? That a lot of times will influence somebody to go one way or the other. A lot of times people look at this deductible, but we want to look at the out-of-pocket maximum. For the person in this scenario, they have a family. So their premium is a total of $1,766 monthly. And then their in-network out-of-pocket maximum, I'll show you where to find that is. If you see something like this, it'll say out-of-pocket maximum, individual family. In this scenario, it's the second one. This is the individual. This is the family. So that's $18,300. For plan two, it's $18,900. Now, that's a $600 difference, right? And then if you go down here, it is $36,600, and this one's $37,800. One thing you'll notice is these usually double, right? In network, out of network. 9150, 18,300, 18,300, 30. Now, that's not all the time, but a lot of times they're usually double, right? So you'll want to look at that. And then plan two, same thing. Now, if we're looking at this, it says, okay, well, it's $600 difference in network and then $1,200 different out of network. Well, let's see how that actually pays out. The difference here is, do you think you're really going to get hit by a bus 19 times and struck by lightning twice to be able to max this thing out this year? If you know you will, then this plan over here, that's a richer plan, even though it's more premium, is a better option for you, right? If you don't think that you're ever going to use the plan, then you can pocket this $516, right? And then at the end of the day, it's if you're not really sure, well, what if something happens? What if it doesn't happen? And then really what you're asking yourself is it worth $516 of premium that will walk straight out the door, whether you use the plan or not, $516, so that you could potentially save $600, $1,200. So $600 in network, $1,200 out of network. Where did I get that number from? Plan one is 18,300. Plan two is 18,900. Plan one is $36,600. Plan 2 is $37,800. That's a $1,200 difference. So what I spend $516 to potentially save myself this $1,800 difference. So really, your decision, it could be about a $1,284 swing if you get it wrong, right? So then now if you're looking at your bet and you're saying, hey, you know what? I'd rather bet on my health and say that I'm not going to get struck by lightning that many times. I don't think it's worth it. So I'm going to keep my $516. That might actually be a good idea for you. So this starts the conversation, right? This begins the conversation of how will I actually use the plans? Not, you don't want to look at the deductibles, the co-insurance, the $60, $70, all this stuff gets people confused because they're not starting with this piece, which is what am I exposed to? It's 21,000 to 76,000. Now, look, this is not including like an employer's responsibility or what they may share with you. This is just the premium, monthly premium for the plans. So you can look at it. A lot of times the employees are the ones faced with this $43 difference in looking at it, and it could be a big deal. So when you're making your decision on your healthcare plan, you really want to find out what's going to walk out the door. And then based off of this, what am I exposed to, right? And that starts the conversation. The reason why this is such an effective way for you to start your conversation with picking a cost-effective health plan is now you know, in this scenario, I'm going to spend about $21,000 no matter what. And I may get to $77,000. What in between there do I think is going to happen? I don't think I'm going to get hit by a bus 19 times, but I do think I might want to get, I do have some medications that I use. What are those medications? Well, now you want to go ahead and look at your summary of benefits from last year, write down those benefits, and you want to go ahead and figure out, hey, how do I go take this formulary and figure out what's the cost going to be if I use this plan with the deductibles? Now all of a sudden it's relevant. Or, hey, you know what? My knee's been messed up. I've been playing a lot of racquetball and playing golf or basketball. I want to heal my knee. Is there anything I can do? I want to go try acupuncture. One of the guys at the gym told me to do that. Now you can go in the plan and look at, well, what's the coverage for acupuncture? Well, what's the copay for that? Is it a specialist? Is it in network, out of network? Now the conversation begins. I hope this was helpful for you. The idea of this video was for you to understand what is the potential cost exposure that I have before you start to get into the minutia of, well, how does the plan work and co-pays and all that. This is an easy way for you to start the conversation and pick the most cost-effective health plan that you have available to you on the market. This is the exact type of information we like to educate employees on when we're working with our clients. We find it helps employees understand the plans and they understand their options, and then they actually pick the plans that make the most sense for them. Not only does it make the employees more happy with the plans provided, but they also are happy that they understand how to use it when they need it most. If this is something you want to talk about in more detail, feel free to schedule 30 minutes on the calendar. I'd be happy to help you out and see if there's any way we can tweak your plans. All right, take care.